Top 5 Wednesdays, the topic is Top 5 Books You Devoured. Now, I'm going to do 2 parts because I read so much. I read different genres. And so, I'm starting with part 1 on this, young adult. Alright? Because I know there's a lot of young adult fans out here on BookTube community. So, this time I'm going to start with the YA ones. And then I'll do part 2 with other, I think it's all adult or contemporary fiction, whatever, but we'll see. Anyhow, number 1, I totally ate this up. Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card is so good. I loved it because it's science fiction, but the kid is a young kid. I read it a long time ago. I don't remember how old he is, but he's like 8, I think, something like that. But he's a little kid. But he's smart, very smart, and the government chose him to be trained to be in command over the spaceships that are going to attack or defend the USA from all these bad aliens that are coming. So, but anyhow, a lot of it is his relationship with the other people and trying to not be picked on, trying to take control without being a target, you know, and it's very good on leadership tactics, and it's just a fun, exciting read. I loved it. I really did. And I found out there's another book from Bean's point of view, which is also in this, which talks about the same events but from a different viewpoint. Following Shadow or something. I'll have to look it up. But anyhow, loved it. This is In the After, and it's a first-time book by this author, Demetria Lunetta. It's dystopian. Okay, the world gets wiped out, but she manages to survive somehow, and she's like, so in the time that the world was here, the USA, that's called the before. So now she's living in the after the onslaught, after the destruction. And so she finds this toddler also living in when she went to the supermarket for food. And somehow she gets rescued by this colony of survivors. And she thinks everything's going to be okay, but then she finds out, guess it isn't. But this was like so fun. It kept me reading. I didn't want to put it down. A real page turner. I'd give it a try. And I mean, I don't know if you already read this or not, but if not, I really think you'd like it if you're into dystopian books. I even read it in the grocery store line on this one. Ready Player One. I just read this. Unbelievable. I know. But I loved it. I loved it. I absolutely was entranced by it. And I thought it was so well written. And there's adventure in it, but it was believable adventure because it was in a virtual reality situation. So it wasn't like happening in real life, all this crazy superhero stuff and magic powers. It's all in the fake world. But the theme is very good. I absolutely highly recommend this to anyone. And it's probably my favorite read for May. My husband loved it too. Now I cheated a little bit because that was 1, 2, 3 books, and the topic's 5, but series I'm counting as 1 book because I gobbled the whole series up. So I'm counting as 1 book. Alright, here it is. This is by Joelle Charboneau, the testing series. We have the testing, independent study, and graduation day. Now, it starts off a little slow with the testing, but I did like this book. I stuck with it, and I was eager to see the next book, which was independent study, and this is even better. In this series, it seems like each book got a little better. But independent study was very good. This is about a girl who is trying to get into this college where she gets to study to be leaders of the country in order to make it better. Well, that's the premise. But when she gets there, she finds out this isn't exactly what's going on. So anyhow, the testing is good, independent study is good, and then finally the graduation day, where is the final in the series. And I recommend this. It's about leadership. If you like, there's a lot of interaction between the people, and it's not really a love interest involved in this that I remember. I read this a while ago too, but I know it's a lot of leadership stuff, and that's what intrigued me on this series. The developing of leaders and how she thought and how she demonstrated her leadership abilities throughout the series. So I really liked it. Finally, we have, get a new guess what it is, I bet you can, The Hunger Games series by Suzanne Collins. Oh, super. This was actually my first dystopian books that I ever read, and I absolutely devoured these up. I couldn't wait for the next book. I thought, oh, yeah, wait for another book. They're thought-provoking, they're fun, they're exciting, the main characters are tremendous. You just can't help but root for them and get attached to them. And so I really liked the situation. It reminded me sort of how the world could be. You know, I mean, how far do you go for entertainment? And we do have our reality TV shows, which kind of this reminded me of. People watching these people get killed, and for entertainment? Come on, you know? I mean, it's wild, but it was interesting. It was so much adventure and just very exciting reads. It starts again, I thought it started out pretty slow. I thought, oh, everyone's raving about this. But then it picks up, so stick with it. If you haven't read this series yet, I would suggest you do, just so you're not uneducated. No, I'll take that back. But really, it's a great series, and there's a lot in here, a lot of stuff in here. Boy, a book club should definitely read the series. And that's my top teen YA books that I devoured.